Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of All the Mods to the Sky. It's been quite a while since I last played this mod pack, or Minecraft in general. I kinda got bored, and I didn't have too much time to play it, so I decided to focus on other stuff. But now I'm back, and I thought maybe let's try and recap what I was doing the last time I played this, because I have forgotten. I think I have done a few renovations since the last episode because, well, I did have like an idea in mind of what I need to do and what I wanted to rebuild, but that idea is long gone at this point. I did quickly skim through the last episode I recorded, and I remember having an issue in the storage system. With this integrated dynamics terminal, that items got stuck in the pipes somehow. I found out that the reason they got stuck was this crafting grid. It takes priority if you use, what's it called? Mouse tweaks or something like that. And it just takes up the slots, and that's why it shows they get stuck in the pipes. There is no real quick way to work around it, at least none that I found. This still works if I just block it out, kind of, but the items start to, just go in circles around in my inventory, which is not ideal. So that's why I put up this barrel, which just automatically puts all my items into the system. We have this item importer on it with this variable card, which I am not sure how it works. I don't remember how it works, but it just imports all items. I don't think it has anything on it. It just needs to be there, so it imports. I also put down a furnace with a energy source, so we can automatically smelt anything we put in this other barrel. Another thing I remember is we had these chests, these diamond chests, as our main storage block. Now we switch them out with these sophisticated storage barrels because I'm pretty sure they have a lot more space, and you can also put in these upgrades. For example, this one lets us put in a single slot more stacks of an item. For example, we have 384 glass, and it's all put into one slot. I guess I have done some general cleanup here as well. I have cleaned up our wall of items, which is not that big of a wall anymore. I will be adding on in the future because I know we will need to sift other things than just gravel, which we are sifting only currently. This is supposedly going to be for our machinery, which require power, because our power is coming from downstairs, and I want to keep it kind of clean upstairs. We have our reactor. I think we saw that last episode. It's still producing power. Great. And this is our sifting system, which is just taking cobblestone from our generator into a hammer, into a sieve, and then into a compactor. Very simple. Oh, and also in the furnace as well. Anything that goes in the furnace or can go in the furnace does. Otherwise, it goes upstairs into our wall. To get into things, I thought maybe let's complete our main quest line, which is getting started. Just getting started. Pretty simple. And there's only two quests left. It's the netherite mesh, the final mesh, and also our cobble gen. The cobble gen is very simple. We have these golden ones already, one downstairs. We have quite a bit of diamonds. As you can see, our wall is filling up nicely. And we also just need a bucket of water and lava, which we can get from this barrel here, or these crucibles. Now we have that quest completed. It doesn't actually give us anything, just the check mark, which is what we wanted. And now it's time to get the mesh, which will be a bit more difficult because to get netherite, we need the scraps. And as we know, the nether is also just a void world. But there is a way to get netherite scraps from sifting. We need to sift crushed netherrack, and we have a small chance of getting it. Because we have emerald mesh, we have, well, two chances, but very small ones. And eventually when we upgrade our meshes, we will have a 5% chance and 2 below 1% chances to get netherite scraps. To get netherite, I already have a setup here. We just put in our redstone on the top and we get netherrack on the bottom. Pretty simple. We just insert netherrack into, now we insert redstone, right? We insert redstone into this barrel of lava and it outputs netherrack. We have our lava sources here, lava tanks with our crucibles, so we should sustain enough lava to get the whole stack. A stack definitely won't be enough, but I was hoping maybe we can get at least a scrap on camera here, so you can see I'm not lying. And we got one actually. Awesome, and we got only one. So you can see we'll probably need, well, at this rate we'll need 3 more stacks, but we'll see. I got pretty lucky, so in the next 2 stacks I got 6 more scraps, so we can get a whole ingot and almost a second one. So we make our ingot, we need to get our mesh, let's not forget. And this one goes in the smithing table, so we put our netherite and our mesh, we get our netherite mesh, and quest complete. Also, chapter complete. Nice, and we get an ancient debris, which is awesome. Not sure we can use it, what we can use it for, besides getting some more meshes. We can crush it down to get a more efficient. Yeah, that's actually good. So we can get another ingot and almost have a third one. Now that we have our first quest line complete, I was thinking, what do we do next? Because if we take a look at getting started part 2, it's not really getting started as it is. There's some in-game stuff in here already. For example, the unobtainium and vibranium and killing the ender dragon. We don't have anything close to that just yet, I don't think. So that's why we will look at Mekanism, I think, because Mekanism has, well, it's one of my favorite mods, and it also has stuff we need for ore processing, as well as machinery that is just useful in general, as well as all the item and fluid and energy transfer. Also, one of the more efficient ways to do that with these upgraded pipes. We already have a couple of these machines. We have the metallurgic infuser and the enrichment chamber. We need these to essentially start Mekanism, which we already have done. I don't remember why, but I did make quite a few of these infused alloys, as well as the basic control circuits, which are the first tier for Mekanism machinery, because eventually we'll move up to the ultimate tier, which requires the atomic alloys and these ultimate control circuits. But we'll get into that more later. First, we start by, I think, upgrading these basic machines, because that will greatly improve our efficiency. Because currently, if we put in, so it's 2 redstone and a single osmium, well, it takes quite a while. So first we get these basic tier upgrades. Let's do a couple of them. Can I do a couple? No, I can't. We just right click on our infuser, shift right click, sorry, and now you can see it has 3 spots, which triples the efficiency. We put in our redstone and we can, so I think there's the auto sort option. When we put in our ingots here, they will auto sort into their, they will distribute evenly, which also is very convenient sometimes, because if you want lots of one item type, this is very efficient. I think we can upgrade our machinery to even a tier higher, because the advanced tier just requires these advanced control circuits, which are combined, 2 of the previous tiers combined. So we just need 2. If we do 2, we get 2 of these circuits, and we can do a next tier upgrade. Very nice, and we can put it on to our infuser again. And now it has 5 slots. Very nice. I just realized for some reason none of the quests are open. I'm not sure why. So I thought maybe let's just check this. Yep. We just need a check mark on our, well, the infuser, the starting machine, which we already had made. And now We got lots of completed quests, as you can see on the top right. We also already made these, so I'll just make a few extra because these haven't been checked out, even though we did them. The next tier is where it starts to get expensive because you need diamonds. It won't be expensive for us because we are in a skyblock world and we generate diamonds out of nothing, but you need these infused diamonds, which will, just do a stack, because why not? And combine these with our infused alloys in this advanced factory already. So we can see it's quite quick. We just put these in and we'll get our reinforced alloys, which will let us get our elite tier, elite tier control circuits and our elite tier installer. But you can see where it starts to get annoying because every next tier needs the previous tier and double it even, because the basic tier needs two of these circuits. The second tier needs already 2 more of these circuits and the infused alloys. So it's kind of a grind to constantly have everything stocked up. Ideally, we will automate this in the future, but to set up our basic machinery, we'll just, do this manually for now. So before we can create our next and final tier, the atomic alloys and as well as the ultimate control circuits, we need 2 new machines, one of them being the crusher and the osmium compressor. The crusher is pretty simple. We have our lava, we have our steel, and we can make steel very efficiently in these new machines, which have 7 slots now. And as well as we need the osmium compressor, which is kind of similar to the crusher. Let's plug down our machines. So one here, one here. I also made some upgrades for them, so they are a bit faster. And let's take a look. So this one is pretty self-explanatory. It's a crusher. It crushes down ingots into dust. And this is the osmium compressor, which is a bit more advanced. It uses osmium to, well, I guess it fuses the two together. I'm not sure. I'm not going to try and explain it, but why do we need them? To get these atomic alloys, we need this enriched obsidian, which we get from refined obsidian, dust more specifically. And to get this dust, either we crush the ingots, which we don't have in the first place, so we make it by infusing the obsidian dust, regular obsidian dust, with diamonds, so we get refined ones. To get the dust, we put it in the crusher. No, we don't. Actually, I lied. We don't need the crusher. We put it in our enriching factory. And we get, soon enough, we'll get obsidian dust. I think it's also just dust, which is weird because I would think you put it in a crusher because it doesn't really enrich anything, but doesn't matter. So we put the dust in our infuser, put in a few diamonds. I won't do all of them because we'll need probably for the reinforced alloys. But as we can see here, we get our refined obsidian. Very nice. We can smelt it. Actually, I'll quickly put in some of them. We can't smelt it. What do we do with it? All right, I completely forgot. We put it in our compressor, right? So we auto sort. We put in our osmium. Uses it up quite quickly. I think it's 1 ingot, one osmium ingot for 1 refined obsidian ingot, which is a fair trade. So we get our refined obsidian, but we don't need the ingots for the alloys. So we just use our refined obsidian dust. We can dump the rest of it. We can put it in our enriching factory, which is full. Where is it? So we put it in our enriching factory. We can, leave some out. We don't need to do all of them. Then we get our enriched obsidian, put it in our infusing factory, and we infuse these reinforced alloys. I realized I don't have enough of them, and I can't make them just yet, but that's the idea. Very simple, atomic alloys. Now we have our 1 quest completed, and we don't have enough to complete the other quests. Well, I'll get our some materials quickly. I'll make 2, I think, because it is kind of expensive, and there's one more thing I want to show you before I start mass producing these alloys. Hopefully mass producing are these upgrades, but let's make our factory best tier factory first, we can plug it onto our infusing factory. And it has 9 slots, which makes it very, very efficient. But it also, well, makes the power consumption 9 times more, I guess. More expensive would be the correct term. If we put in our iron, we can see it consumes 180 RF per tick, or FE. FE, yeah, it's FE, not RF. But that is not a lot to in comparison what we're producing. Eventually, when we get some more upgrades, it will be quite a lot. I mean, it will consume even more, but it will be 10 times faster, I think. Making the crusher wasn't all that useless, I forgot. So the upgrades actually do need the crusher because we need dust, gold dust, and we need the osmium dust, which we get from the crusher. So if we put in our gold, it's kind of slow, but that's why we're making these upgrades. They're also not very expensive, just some alloys. So one thing to look out for, as we'll see when I start putting these upgrades in, is if you max out on speed upgrades, your machines are very fast, but they consume a lot of power. And I don't think we can support that much power consumption. We'll see. I'll just quickly get these upgrades done, and then we'll take a look at the numbers. So for reference, we'll use the infusing factory because it's the most upgraded machine we currently have. It has 0 upgrades currently, and if we put in our enriched redstone, we'll see it consumes 180 FE per tick, which is not a lot. The upgrade limit is 8, so we'll just put all 8 upgrades in, and we'll see it's consuming 10 times less power, which is, I mean, this is nothing. We can generate this with the most basic power generation, but the machine is still kind of slow, and that's why we put in these speed upgrades. There's also a upgrade category here, and you can see what kind of effects it has. So I won't install all 8 at once because, well, they get very the efficiency goes up just by a little bit, but the power consumption goes up greatly. So with just 2 upgrades, we consume 56 FE per tick. If we put in 2 more, oops, well, maybe we throw them on the ground. If we put in 2 more, its the efficiency goes up. Well, it's 3 times faster than it was originally, but it consumes our original 180 FE per tick. And this is usually where I stop putting in upgrades, because I think it's fast enough and it's consuming no more power than it consumed when it had no upgrades. But now, fully upgraded, we'll see how much power it consumes. So I've taken some extra iron because I ran out, because it goes very fast in comparison, but it also consumes a lot of power. So we'll take a moment and look. So it consumes 1.8 kilo FE, or RF, I guess they're the same realistically, which is almost as much as we produce in our small reactor here. But imagine we have 4 of these machines going on at the same time. We don't have nearly enough power generation currently to support that. So that's why I like to just keep in 4 upgrades. Well, maybe do 5 because it's 4 times efficient. It's not that intensive on the power. I intentionally avoided completing these quests because I wanted to get as many of them at the same time as I could. So I thought maybe let's just do a couple of them. I'm not gonna do all of the cables because we don't have all the materials just yet, and it's still kind of annoying to make all of them. But I gathered enough to maybe upgrade our power storage as well as our fluid storage. In this case, we're just storing lava. So we can do we can do U on this. One quest, other quest, and we have our ultimate fluid tank, which stores 256 buckets, I think. Yeah, we don't have the configurator. I'll do that later. We can also upgrade our power storage. That's going to be a bit more annoying because it requires these energy tablets and they don't stack, I don't think. Do we? Okay, We don't have enough alloys. Great. So we put them in the system. We already have the advanced cube, but it hasn't registered it. So we have to make the basic cube, the advanced cube. Now we can upgrade our advanced cube, but we also need, I keep forgetting. What do I need? I need these energy tablets, right? I was just talking about them. We need 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. We do U on this one. Autocomplete. We got our elite one, and then the ultimate one, which stores 102. What is it? Mega RF. We plug it in. It's filling up nicely. Now we will have lots of extra power storage. Hopefully this is outputting. It's not. I'll complete that later. I think this is a nice amount of quests completed. So let's do the collect all rewards and see what we get. So maybe we could have made our lives easier because we get some materials already. We even got some atomic alloys and some enriched obsidian, which we need for the atomic alloys. So this is also a great way to get some materials to skip some steps maybe, or to improve your machinery quicker. There is this whole other line of quests for Mekanism, which deals with ore processing, and I think you can make it 5 times or 4. I'm not sure. Not sure how it works with the new ores, but it used to be 5 times more ores from a single block. But we're not going to get into that because it's very tedious, and I mean, it's not like we are short on ores yet. Eventually, we probably will be when we get into some later game stuff, but currently this serves no benefit for us. So that's why we're going to ignore it. And I also thought, what would be something we definitely need before we start really expanding our island? And I thought maybe some better storage, because honestly, the integrated networks are kind of annoying how they work. So I thought maybe let's try and get into applied energistics, which will be also very tedious. But I think it's important that we start off early and we already move everything into one system. But that's going to be it for today's episode, guys. It does feel like we didn't get to do much, and I do want to do a lot more, but it takes a surprising amount of time for me to record these episodes because I do want to explain as much as I can about what am I doing and what am I upgrading, and I may not always get that correct, but that's the idea, and it takes time. So I will try to make more episodes a lot sooner, but for now, that's going to be it. Bye bye.